part of our focus and what we are trying to do right now, and this is what Uhuru wanted to do like 2 or 3 years ago, was to get out. Uhuru wanted to get out as a former president and not, get involved in politics. Some of us also want to get out. What we want is to nurture a new generation of leadership. We're going to go out there and recruit membership. We're going to go out there and open the branches. We are going to have the structures. We can play a role in the background as advisory. But I can tell you for free, this is our exit strategy, but we are not just going to leave the house without any forward-looking leadership, especially. I am saying we are in Azimio because we were part of the Azimio coalition. We have an instrument, a coalition agreement instruments, which are with the registrar of political parties. Even some of those parties you are talking about, Kalonzo the other day, he said they are also technically still in Azimio. That doesn't mean they are in bed with Ruto. And by the way, some of us have had this conversation with Raila Amolo Odinga, including the thinking and the philosophy behind his agreeing to stabilize the country, because you are either going to let somebody burn the country and you go down with him, or you're going to have some engagement. I think the only problem we have with that engagement of the broad-based was that it was not a structured engagement involving all the parties on the table. But I believe also this whole business of entitlement and shareholding and that kind of talk is what informed this decision, that you cannot tell some Kenyans that they do not deserve their fair share of development, and yet they are taxpayers just because they decided to vote in a different way from the people who ended up being the winners.
Murathe, I'm not sure you can argue like that, because the relationship between Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto was share of government 50-50. That was the shareholding 50-50 on each. So I think I can't say that. But I want to ask you another question. Are you aware that you cannot belong to two coalitions? So how is Jubilee going to fit in the new formation, which is the one emerging now in the United Opposition, when he's still, and also I can extend that to Kalonzo's party. So how would they fit if they don't withdraw officially from Azimio? And they cannot also come with a cooperative membership. There's no provision for cooperative membership.
I don't think at the moment there is a coalition called the United Opposition Coalition.
But it is coming. It's coming. So because
if it comes,
yes.
And that is why the party leader said, we are currently in Azimio. In the future, we can decide to be members of any new formation. But right now, as I'm talking to you, Professor, we don't have one. Including, and this is very important, Professor, for you to educate people. Yes. The reason why we are having the minority party and the majority party in parliament, and what is actually recognized in parliament as the majority party and the minority party, although the courts rule that we are the majority party, but for some reason, UNET has abdicated that role to Ichung'wa. But you can also see, for all intents and purposes, it's UNET who operates like the majority leader. So part of that is the numbers that we got as Azimio, including what people get from the political parties fund is actually channeled through Azimio, and then there's a formula that goes to the different parties, depending on the vote they brought in terms of MCA, MP, and the presidential vote.
I wanted just to ask, in terms of unity, because we've seen JubileeParty, all that we're hearing from you as well, you are in united opposition. But when it comes to the gestures, when it comes also to pronouncements that are being made from the podiums that we've seen, none is highlighted about your, so to speak, the presidential hopeful that you have within the party, that is Dr. Matiang'i, is not given that particular prominence in their pronouncements as well. So the wrangles that are there, the infighting that we have with the United Opposition, with the Jubilee Party, what does it portend the future of Jubilee Party within United Opposition? And I've seen also the Secretary General has been given this statement. We have the chairman also giving this counter statement. So it seems there is a bit of confusion and attackiness that needs to be, sorted out. Can you clear the fog for us?
Yeah, and that is why some of us have been not wanting to come to the media, because you are making us look very dysfunctional, as if we do not have a common position insofar as some of these engagements and arrangements are concerned. So you get the Secretary General to say one thing, and then the party chairman to say another thing, and that stokes these kind of misconceptions. The point is, Uhuru Kenyatta is actually the chairman of the Azimio coalition. Raila Odinga is the party leader of that coalition. Yeah. Martha Karua, I believe, has officially written to the registrar of political parties to get out of that coalition. She was the deputy party leader. She was a running mate to Raila Amolo Odinga. Now, you have seen, we have been participating in those sessions, even through our chairman, Saitoti. He has been attending those meetings. Matiang'i has just come back from the World Bank. He's attending those meetings. He has expressed himself. He has made it clear that whoever is settled on by the United Opposition, we are going to support that candidate, because we are not in bed with the Kenya Kwanza administration. And by the way, Dibal, part of our focus and what we are trying to do right now, and this is what Uhuru wanted to do like 2 or 3 years ago, was to get out. Uhuru wanted to get out as a former president and not, get involved in politics. Some of us also want to get out. What we want is to nurture a new generation of leadership. We're going to go out there and recruit membership. We're going to go out there and open the branches. We're going to have the structures. We can play a role in the background as advisory. But I can tell you for free, this is our exit strategy, but we are not just going to leave the house without any forward-looking leadership, especially of the young generation.
I think
So, as far as we are concerned, the bar, we are firmly part of the opposition. Of course, people are trying to wipe all kind of things, and some of them are actually becoming very desperate. People have been trying to say, "Oh, we have talked to Uhuru," or I don't know, we are talking. Of course, there were conversations when Raila was actually asking people, "Do we just sit back and let this country burn? Or do we also try and say, hey, we can't let you burn this country? Because if it burns, it is going to burn with all of us. So let us try and steady the country. Let us have the stability. Let us give you the space you need to govern the way you know how. And let them make their mistakes. The Kenyans will judge them. It's only 2 years away."
Right. Thank you, Vice Chair.